Okay, part of lesson 11, we are going to look at the sequence 07, full parametric EQ. And this here is one music clip, so you can play it through and hear what it sounds like. But one of the things it's going to have us do is now apply that effect, the parametric equalizer effect. So if you don't know where it's at, you can type in the search box and find the one you need. Left click and hold, drag it onto your audio clip. It's now been applied. You can see it comes up here in our effects control panel. And we are going to make a series of changes to this here clip. One of the first things that you'll want to do is open the edit button. We've done this on several other ones. In this grid here, you see the blue line. This is going to reflect any of the changes that we make as the blue line moves up or down. It's going to give us control over different hertz, which is your frequencies. So several of these we're going to make adjustments to. We also have a gain column that will allow us to control the overall gain of everything, and you can also make adjustments to the low end and high end of your audio wavelength as far as the frequency you're hearing. So there are a variety of ones that you can choose from. You can click and drag these, or you can come down here and make manual adjustments by typing in the numbers. So one of the first things that it wanted us to do was play the clip, get familiar with it, and then at the bottom of the controls there is a range. So right now it's at 30, and with 30 chosen you can change your dB plus or minus 15. It wants us to choose the 96 for the dB range, and that then will allow us to change all the way up to plus or minus 48. So that's going to give us more range. All right, so control point 1 is first. So we can click and drag on this, and we should be at about 65 hertz. So we're going to drag it over to the right a little bit, and then we also are going to want to go down to about 30. And if you don't get there quite exact with what the book's talking about, I can come down here and I can manually type these numbers in. So 65 and minus 30.8 is what it's asking for. It's also saying that the width is 2, which is quite wide. So the 65, we brought our that's a low end frequency, like we talked about air conditioners and other humming noises. And then the negative 30.8 dB is going to be a gain reduction. And then this here Q width is a wide range, so it's sampling a wide frequency. So what you want to do is you're going to change your Q factor from 2 to 7, and notice that this narrowed our blue line when we did that. So it's no longer quite as wide, it's a sharper curve, and it's affecting fewer frequencies. So that means it's affecting less numbers to the left and right of the 65. Before with the 2, it was affecting a much wider stance on that. Okay, moving on, it wants us to now play this and hear what you have done as far as your changes. Next, it wants us to refine some of the vocals. So at point 3, it's telling us to do some adjustments. I'm just going to come down here and make the changes by typing. So it wants negative 20 for the dB. And our Q factor is going to be 1, which will make it very wide. Did you notice how it's expanded out when I made that change? So this blue line is reflecting all the changes. At this point, go ahead and play your sequence again. You'll notice that the vocals got much quieter than they were before. Alright, so next step is drag control point 4 to around 1,500 hertz. So I'm just going to type the number in because that's going to be easier for me. And this time we're going to go up on our gain. We're going to go up to 6. And our Q factor is going to be 3. So notice that our graph continues to change as we make these adjustments. Again, go ahead and play your sequence. See how these changes are affecting the outcome. And then next, it's going to have us adjust our high frequencies. So that's this H instead of a number. And we're going to set the gain around -8. So this will make our high frequencies quieter. You can also use your master gain control over here to adjust your overall level. You may need to see your audio meter to find out if your mix is right or not. So you may have to play it and watch down here and then make adjustments here if needed. The book does not give us any set numbers to do, so I'm going to leave that alone at this point. It's also telling us now that we can close this, and when we do close it, since it's still in our effects control panel, all of this new data will be retained, and it's going to be affecting our clip down here. And of course, you can play through this whole sequence now, and you'll notice that these changes are very dramatic. The book had us do very dramatic changes, so that way you could actually see how these adjustments work and how the techniques of moving that blue line plays out with this effect. One of the other things that you can do when you're playing stuff in your program window, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see more of it, is you can loop stuff. So you can add buttons to your program window, and you want to come find this guy right here, and you can just drag this down, and you can put it anywhere that you'd like. So I'll just choose there, and then I'll say OK. So I've now added an additional button to my play window here. And the neat thing about loop is when you're trying to listen to one piece of your video, if you set an in and an out, and then you hit loop on it, when you hit play, as you saw, the playhead jumped back to the beginning. So you can keep playing the same part of the clip over and over and over as you're making your adjustments to make sure you're happy with what you have. So there is your loop button. And if there's other things that you want to add with the button editor, you could do it here. Let me open this just a little bit wider. This here one is safe margins. I use this a lot when I'm doing videos, especially that are going on TV, because it's kind of your title safe area and sometimes stuff gets cut off. Another one that I like is this export frame. Sometimes if you're putting stuff up on YouTube, it automatically gives you like 3 images to pick from that they'll defaultly use for the one that everybody sees. But if you don't like any of those, people are making funny faces, you can actually scrub through your entire piece of footage, and when whatever picture is up here, somebody's smiling or something cool is happening or a logo, you just click this and it's going to actually save you a JPEG that you could use as a still frame then for YouTube or for something else for that matter, publicity for a film. So those are some additional tools that are available to you in the program monitor. I know we haven't covered those a lot, but since we were getting into looping, I thought I'd just drop those in as extra tidbits.